welcome to Tracy Momey Reads. I am back again with another book review. So last week was my birthday, May 11th, Tars Gang. And instead of like posting a video, because it was also, Mother's Day was this past Sunday, it was just a lot going on. I gave you guys a sneak peek of the Woman in Her 50s Tries, where I tried the crumble cookie sensation. So hopefully you guys got a chance to watch that. If not, you can go back and check it out. And there's just so much editing to still be done, but I am committed before the end of the summer to having that series come out. And again, I don't know if I'm going to try to integrate it into this channel or if it's going to end up being its own thing, but that's not what you're here for today. Today, you're here to hear me talk about the book Look Closer by David Ellis. Look Closer. This book was yet another that was recommended and floating around on this book group I'm in on Facebook. And I'm not on Facebook that often, seriously, probably 2 or 3 times a week, like literally just checking, and probably on there for a total of maybe 5 to 10 minutes at a time. So maybe 15 minutes a week or something like that. But I always enjoy some of the commentary and the things that go on in that group. So I'm always like kind of scrolling through, or if I have any notifications. But they are bad influences because I don't know, it's like thousands of women in that group. So there's always like books that people are reading and that they're sharing, and they're like, screenshotting, and maybe books that I've never heard of. And then, everybody kind of like chimes in, or they give you like a little blurb about, what it's about. And, I'm a reader, I'm a book lover. So of course I'll become intrigued and I'll add it to my list. And sometimes if there's a lot of chatter about it, I may just go and say, okay, well, let me see. This is probably a popular book. It's probably, 16 weeks out if I put it on the library, to reserve at the library. And then in the meantime, I could read one of the many books I have here. Well, this book popped up like it was available right then and there. So I had to, of course, go ahead and read it. And when I tell y'all, okay. Look Closer by David Ellis is a suspense mystery thriller, and it will keep you guessing all the way to the end, and you will come up with theories throughout, and you will probably be wrong. And I'm starting to see a pattern here with a lot of the mystery thrillers, and I don't know why I didn't make this connection before, but it seems like a good 95% of them are revenge books. They're like about revenge, at the end of the day, somebody doing something for revenge. So this the same case in this book, Look Closer, by David Ellis. So let me get my notes here. So there are a lot of moving pieces in this book. I will say that. So you really got to be, this isn't like a little casual page flipping, scrolling type book. You really got to be paying attention to what's going on. There are a lot of characters that are introduced, and at the onset, and again, it's a lot of these stories are starting out, there is a murder, and someone is fleeing the scene. And then with the chapters that follow, we're being brought up to speed. So this is present day, the murder, and somebody's leaving. And then we go back to see how we got here, okay? And the main characters are, it's a married couple by the name of Simon and Vicky, right? And they seem like a normal couple, in a lot of aspects, but they are both very disenchanted in their marriage. And they're both like starting to diverge and do other things and other people, if you get my drift. So as I was reading it, y'all, I'll be coming up with these theories about, oh yeah, he definitely did it, she did it. And like I said, was wrong at every turn in this particular book. I have tried so hard to get my words together. Even though I have my notes here, some of it I can see, like if I say certain things, may give you guys spoilers, but I may have to like give you a little tidbit of a spoiler, just to kind of set the stage. So Simon is a law professor, right? So he knows the ins and outs of the law. So that is a very key piece of information that you should be holding on to as you're going through this book and understanding that it's what it's ultimately about. And Vicky, she works for a nonprofit, like a shelter, I believe, for women and children, or for children or something. And it seems like that they would be compatible, but the way I guess that their interests are, and you know, their friend groups and just different things, because Vicky's not, you know, obviously if Simon has a law, if he's a law professor, he has a degree and he's, you know, kind of educated, and you know, Vicky, she just works at this shelter, and she kind of has a, you know, little sketchy background that she's trying to overcome. So at the end of the day, you maybe start to believe that it's just, they are just two different people to really be able to be on the same page about things. But as we get more of Simon's backstory, we begin to realize they aren't very different from each other. And, you know, especially when we're told how they met, which this is not really a spoiler, but it kind of gives context. Vicky and Simon met at a grief support meeting. Okay. So obviously they both had someone close to them pass away, and that is what joined them together to begin with, right? So again, as we are going through the story, and it becomes clear there are some revenge elements, but as the reader, you don't know who's trying to get revenge on who. Like, are Simon and Vicky like trying to off each other? Are they trying to destroy the people that they've kind of, you know, started these other situationships with? Are they working together? Do the people that they are having these affairs with know each other? Like, it's just these little, so many pieces that it's like doing a puzzle, I'll say. You know, you open up a puzzle box and it's all these pieces, and you have this image on the box of the puzzle that is telling you this is what this puzzle should look like when it's finished. But you're having to connect everything, and it takes a while because, okay, is this an end piece? Is this a round piece? So that is what this book felt like to me. It was like piecing together a puzzle, and you're putting stuff in the wrong place, and you're trying to do the corner pieces and trying to make it all make sense. And then when you finally realize what is happening and what is going on, it's like you feel like you need to start over, because how did you miss it? How was the author able to pull the wool over your eyes? And the thing that I really enjoy about books like this that kind of have the suspense and thriller element, and you get to the end and it's been a total, you know, moment, is that the author has already kind of built in justifications, right? Because, you know, when these things happen, when you're reading and you go, that you know, that wouldn't have happened, or how could he have done and she never even, and why wouldn't they have mentioned, this seems like this is out of nowhere. Well, no, every time there was something that as a reader, you may have been like, how could he have done that? Or how could she have done that? She gave a reason within the dialogue. It was almost like, especially in Simon's case, because he was so methodical. And like I said, he knew the law very well. So it was almost like in his case that when you would read something that he did, like in the next sentence, it's like he would be addressing the reader almost like, you know, because the statute of that was only 10 days or whatever, you know, like it's like he kind of gave you your answer before you even fully got the question out. And then Vicky, she was very intuitive, and she could read people very well. It was like, she could anticipate what they were going to do and what they were doing and what they were all about. And so it allowed her to manipulate some situations as well. But my gosh, it was quite a ride, quite a read. And I really liked every aspect of the story, like the pacing, the characters, the motivations, and everything like that. The only thing that, me and these endings, I like the way it ended. I feel like it was a satisfying ending, but there was just like, I'll say there was some money involved, right? A large sum of money. And I just didn't like the fact that, of what happened with the money. I mean, I just couldn't believe after all that's what we're going to do with this money. So, but that was just like a choice, I guess, that the author made to show, I guess kind of the true character of the characters in the book. But it wasn't like, oh, that was unrealistic, or I'm sure people that have done that, but I just was kind of like, my mind was blown when for a big portion of the book, it was about this money, and for what happened with the money to have happened, I was like, really? That's okay. That's what we're doing. But other than that, I really, really enjoyed it. Yeah. So if you like books that are in the suspense, thriller, mystery, the trifecta, then you definitely love Look Closer. If you love books that have the revenge element, books that you remember I talked about like the suburbia trope, because there's like a rich neighborhood and person involved in this. If you like, books that kind of have like a tilt towards a legal drama, or books that look at domestic stuff going on within marriages and relationships, then you will thoroughly enjoy Look Closer, and we'll devour it. I read it in like a day and a half. Yeah, so I really enjoyed it, and I actually give this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars. That is my rating on this particular book. If you have read Look Closer by David Ellis, I would love to know your thoughts in the comments. What did you think when you realized what was going on and what who the main players were and what they were doing? What did you think about that? Or if you've read any of David Ellis's, any other books by him, I would love to know a recommendation maybe in the comments, because I really like his writing style, and this was the first book that I'd ever read by him. Thanks again for watching. Make sure you like this video and be sure to go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And you guys have a great rest of your week. Bye.